This is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about your feelings being valid. Everybody emotes. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. So why do we need to know that our feelings are valid? Earlier today, I was going through reading some books, listening to audiobooks, reading a book, journaling. I also was listening to podcasts, listening to sermons. And what I gathered from all of those things is understanding that your feelings are valid. Sometimes we feel like because we feel a certain way, because we emote, that means that something's wrong with us. That means that we need to just have it all together all the time. We always got to be like a robot. We just got to do everything just like this all day long. We can never feel sad or happy or mad or any other emotion. Sometimes we have this image in our life of perfection that's unobtainable. It's unrealistic. There's not one woman who's not going to be hormonal near their period. And people could say, well, I always have it together. You might be, but you know how our hormones fluctuate during that time. So, and I'm not saying it looks exactly the same in every woman. Sometimes it could just be, you might be a little bit more emotional during that time. And it might not be a bad thing. It might just be like you just watch a movie and all of a sudden you have a one Denzel tear that comes down the side of your cheek. Or it could be like you get a little grumpy, like, oh, someone moved the soda. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal. But, it could just be because you have really bad cramps and you just feel in a certain type of way, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, the point is, I think it's important for us to all acknowledge the fact that men, women, boy, girl, whoever you are, we all emote. We all have emotions, and we all, most of the time, have valid reasons for feeling that way. Sometimes people can make you feel like you being upset, sad, happy, mad, they have to tell you that you can't be mad, you can't be happy, you can't be sad, you can't be this, you can't be that. But you are going to be who you are regardless. So it's important for you to know that you feeling whatever feeling is valid and not to live in that emotion. If you're angry, don't just be angry all the time. Maybe give yourself 1 minute to just feel angry in one position, not like go on about and do a bunch of destructive things in life, but in one moment, just really clench your fist super duper 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 tight, clench your whole body, like get all of the aggression into that one moment for 1 minute. Think about everything that's making you mad. Think about all the things that are upsetting you. Think about all the things that you feel like can't be changed. And then slowly open your fist and just release it back into the world. Like you just need to let it go. And now that you acknowledge your emotion, you can move on and be happy. You can move on and actually bring in all of the good emotions instead of just holding on to that anger, holding on to that sadness. And if that doesn't work, definitely go talk to somebody. I'm all for counseling. I know some people are like, why are you always talking about counseling? Because let me tell you something. Sometimes it's good to have an unbiased opinion, even if you're not struggling with something. Because even when I'm trying to build my career, when I'm trying to move up another level, I want to be more emotionally intelligent. And sometimes in order to do that, I need to go seek a counselor because it's going to be someone that's not judging me. It's someone who knows what my goals are and someone who really does want to see me do better. So that's why I go. Other people may go for different reasons. And even when I'm struggling, sometimes I'm not always together. Sometimes when I'm struggling, I go to my counselor and we talk about it. I talk about what's bothering me. We figure out why it was bothering me, where it stems from, and then I face that head on. It's not easy at all. I'm willing to do the hard work and I will never be perfect, and I'm okay with that. And so we just have to know that our feelings and standards are valid. I was talking to one of my friends today, and as we were talking, I was like, I don't know what's been going on with me, because usually I'm always happy all the time. And I know some people are like, that's unhealthy. How are you happy all the time? But no, listen, listen. I really am usually happy all the time. And so lately I've just been like kind of grumpy. I've been like having some kind of mood, like being in like a mood, which is weird for me. And then on top of that, like, I don't know what's been going on. And Even my close friend that I went to school with was like, what's going on with you? I was like, I have no idea. I don't know why. Because usually I just have like this really big cry sesh that I do here, and it's usually on one of these videos, or I'm talking to God and I'm just so emotional. Like, those are the times that I really just cry it out. I cry hard too. Like I cry so hard. That's why I don't have no more tears when I go out into the world, because I get it all out right there. And then when I go out into the world, I'm usually like smiling and happy because I've already cried all the tears I could cry. I left them in the house. And so so that's what I do. And as I was talking to my friend today, they were like, why? I was like, I don't know. I've been like in a really grumpy mood. I do apologize if I came off weird or whatever else. My phone's going off. Move that over. Okay. But yeah, I was like, I've been in a really grumpy mood. I don't know what's happening. And they were like, it's okay. I was like, you don't expect people to say it's okay. Usually they're like, yeah, you've been real grumpy. What's wrong with you? But they were like, it's okay. It's like that time of year, the holidays come. Not everybody takes it that well. Some people are going through their own thing, and it's fine. Every person has feelings. And I'm like, I say that all the time. I'm supposed to be the person that's saying this. But yeah, it's so true. Sometimes we forget that we have the right to emote. Sometimes we forget that we're not always going to be on it every day 100%, like just looking like perfection. We're going to all have one bad day or one bad moment. I try not to let the whole day be bad. Usually it's like a moment in the day. We're all going to have those moments in life. Everything in life is not going to be perfect. Life is going life. And it's just important for us to feel that emotion and let it go. And so I also wrote down 3 things that I think would be helpful, and knowing that just because you have emotions or you have feelings and standards for your life does not mean that you should, one, forget that there are good people in the world. Sometimes you will be in so many bad relationships or toxic relationships, or meet so many people who are disinterested in learning who you truly are, or meet so many people who don't feel like they want to put forth an effort, that when you really meet a person who puts forth an effort, you feel like, what is this person up to? And I say that laughingly, but seriously, you could tell that's a person who is not healed, or that's a person who needs to do more work before they can get into a relationship, or before they can really allow a person to really treat them the right way, without always thinking that someone is out to get you. Like, there are good people in the world. I think it's important for us to remember that. Yes, there are bad people, but there are also good people in the world. There are really going to be people, men, women, who actually want to get to know you, who actually want to learn you, who actually want to treat you the right way, who actually want to appreciate you and respect you and treat you with common decency and courtesy. There's actually people who can really be your friend, who is not just looking for something beneficial on their end. They just are good people, kind people, who just want a friend just like you do. You might actually get a job who, yes, they're paying you for your job, your position and everything else, but they really do value you as an employee. It's not just oh, you're another person. This company, whatever, it's like family. They treat you like a human being, and they really do appreciate you being with them. Sometimes it's so hard to see the forest through the trees. It's so hard to see good people when all you do is meet bad people. It's so hard to see that not everybody is going to be a bad person, or not everybody is going to hurt you, or not everybody is going to whatever, fill in the blank. But I think it's important for us to always remember that we need to just allow people to show us who they are, and then make a decision, instead of right off the bat thinking every person is out to get us. And I know it's not easy. I've been there. But I think if you really want the life of your dreams, if you really want to be with the person, if you really want to work that job, if you really want true friendship, then you have to allow people to treat you right. You have to allow people to treat you the way you've always been supposed to be treated. You have to allow people to appreciate you. There are people that will appreciate you. I hope you know that. And it's not always going to be easy. You just have to know that. I got to say this to be transparent in this moment, but I used to have this inside joke with God. And it's going to sound sad, but it's so true. And I think it might help somebody. So that's why I'm saying it. And I don't care how judged I am. I don't care who thinks what of me. As long as I'm helping somebody, I'm good. And so I used to have this inside joke with God. And I would say, the only people that appreciate and understand my worth is me and God, or my value is me and God. And I truly, truly believed that. I really did. Because I would meet so many people, so many men, so many men. I gotta just laugh about it because you gotta laugh to hide the. No, it's no pain, but it's hilarious on the outside looking in. I meet so many men that would be just like, "Oh, you don't deserve all that time. You don't deserve consistency. You don't deserve me pursuing you. You don't deserve this." And I just be like, "What the like?" It's not like I had trouble meeting people. It's just like people would just be like, "Oh, well, she seems like she's doing okay. She might not need me." When did I say I don't need you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But no. Seriously though. Like that would be my running joke with God because I would meet so many men, so many different shapes, heights, types. And every single one would not see my value. And I would be standing flat footed in faith, like, okay, God, I'm not settling. I'm gonna continue to wait on you. I'm gonna continue to just keep going. I'm not gonna lose faith. I'm not going to just give up just because these men don't see my value if I know my value. That when I finally met a person who actually did see my value, I was like, what do you want? I didn't say that, but in my mind, that was the first thing I thought. And I was also thinking like, very very peculiar. I was just like, hmm, mm-hmm, hmm. Like I was really just like really taken aback. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but I was in shock a little. Like you know how you probably don't know and I don't know either, but I hear this is what happens when you're in a car accident and you don't understand what's happening and then you're like, "Oh my gosh, this happened." Or like some kind of tragic event happens and then you don't realize that it's happened and your body's in shock and you just kind of go in a like zombie zone through it. That's how I felt. I felt like I was in shock. Like I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, is this for real? Is this really happening right now? Like and I really was feeling like worst case scenario. Like, okay, this person in my head, this is what was happening. I was like, this person totally is going to pretend like they're interested, put on their representative coat. They're going to treat me all nice and, act like they really care. And then all of a sudden, they're going to sweep the rug from right underneath of me and then break my heart into a million pieces and roll over me with a cement truck. Like, that's in my head, that's how it was going to happen. And for some people, you're like, wow, that's a little drastic. But no, seriously, in my head, that's how it played out. I was like, worst case scenario. They're going to seem good. They're going to, like, all of a sudden just, like, get me to a place where I'm vulnerable enough to where I fall for the person. And then after I fall for the person, then they're going to come in, like, a switch is going to flip. And they're just going to turn into this evil human being who's going to want to destroy me. I don't know. And take away, like, all of my success and make me insecure and feel like I don't deserve anything because they're going to feel like, well, you just seem a little too happy. I've had people like that in the past, if you're wondering where that story would even come from. But yeah, that's what I was thinking would happen. I was like, because I'm so happy. I'm happy all the time. I can't be happy and happier. Like that doesn't even make any sense, but it does make sense. You should be happy in life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have joy. You deserve to have contentment. Always remember that. And the third thing, it's important to know that healthy hard passes does not mean that you should lose hope. Just because you have standards, just because you have boundaries, does not mean that you should feel like, okay, my standards and boundaries are so high, no one could ever meet them. I'm not saying have unrealistic standards. I'm saying healthy standards and boundaries. I'm saying that you have something that's a super hard pass that you know, I just can't deal with this. This is something that would bug me right now. And if it was times 10 when I was married, there's no way I could put up with it. It's got to be something that's so bad that you know that it's just, no, 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 no. And, of course, Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Earlier today, I was listening to this podcast, and as they talked about different emotional intelligence and developing your thought process, they started to talk about how if you're alive, there is still hope. Sometimes so many bad things happen in our life, we forget that hope is still there. We forget that our ability to breathe in and out is God's grace and mercy. It's Him giving us another opportunity to be better than we were yesterday. There's nothing that you can do that's so bad that you can't have hope for your life. You have to change your thought process. You have to start to analyze your life in the best of ways and start to think positive thoughts. You have to think, if you want to be a millionaire, think about making 10K a day, or start thinking about how abundant you can be. Start thinking of how prosperous you're going to be in life. Start thinking about all of the ways that money is going to come to you. Don't think, oh, I'm going to be broke. Oh, I got to live paycheck to paycheck. Oh, money just sucks. No, money does not suck. Money doesn't suck. Your thought process sucks. So you got to really just take in all of the positivity that you can. And just, if you want to be wealthy, then you got to think wealthy. You got to live wealthy. And I don't mean you just spend all your money that you're supposed to spend on your mortgage. I mean that you start putting yourself in scenarios where you're actually living that type of life. You start to go different places where you know that you can expand your mind. Because if you can't see beyond where you are, then you need to be in an area, in a place that you can actually expand your horizon. Because whatever you're thinking in your mind, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you have to know what's in your heart. If you're trying to be wealthy, then you need to think like a wealthy person. You need to act like a wealthy person. And I mean humbly. You need to go places that a wealthy person would go. You need to be places that a wealthy person would be. You need to start acting like you already have the wealth that you already intend on having in your life. If you want to be in a super healthy romantic relationship with this person that's going to treat you with honor, decency, common courtesy, and respect, then you need to start treating yourself that way first. And you have to start believing that it's possible. You can't just be like, oh, all men are this, all women are this. No, not all. Everybody is nothing. Like, that is, every time I hear somebody say that, it breaks my heart. And it really makes me feel a certain type of way. All men are not nothing. Like, there's some men that may do this thing. That is not every man. There are some really amazing men in this world that can lead, that are the type of leader that God created them to be. They're this strong, intelligent, attractive man. And if you believe that every man is bad, then you're not going to meet a good man. You're going to have to really change your thought process. You're going to really have to start thinking that there's a lot of great men in this world that will treat you amazing. Like, the best is yet to come. You don't even know what God got behind this little curtain. You just have to change your mind, and you can't lose hope. You got to always believe that there is better in this world for you. You got to know financially, your finances going up. You got to know emotionally, your emotional intelligence is on 10, on 100, 100%, but 1 out of 10, a 10, and continually expanding. You got to know that your body is going up, that every day that you exercise and eating healthy, you're getting stronger in every area. I'm not saying you got to be a certain size, but you just strong. All of a sudden, you got strength in different muscle groups you didn't even know existed. And it might hurt a little bit at first, but that's the way the breaking season does. You break off things that are necessary to take you to the next level. Your skin start glowing. All of a sudden, you eating healthy. Now your skin not breaking out from sugar and all the salt intake. So skin looking flawless, body on point, finances going up. Like, you just got to believe it to receive it. You got to know that you could achieve it. I wasn't even trying to rhyme. But seriously, you got to know that you're worth all of it, and you cannot lose hope. There is so much that God wants to give you in life, and until you change your mind and you start thanking Him, He can't give you nothing else. Why would he give an ungrateful person something? That don't even make no sense. We got to really be like, God, I was thanking God all day. And I'm going to tell you, today was the best day I've had in a long time. It was amazing. I didn't do nothing spectacular, but I was blessed beyond measure. Like, let me just put it that way. I woke up this morning feeling good. I was like, thank you, God. I worked out harder than I did most days, which was good. I was like, thank you, God. I I got ready a little late, but I had time to actually get my mind together, to actually take time on the things that mattered to me this morning before going into the office or before going to work. Then on the way to work, I got to listen to the song. I got to talk to one of my favorite people, which was amazing. I got to go to work, and this meeting went so good. I prayed about it first. That was the that was the cheat code. Jesus is a cheat code for real, because I was in there like before the meeting. I was like, God, I just pray that I do amazing in this meeting. Everything goes good. There's no technical issues. Like, I was praying against everything that could possibly go wrong. And the next thing you know, it was like smooth as butter. Butter, baby. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. And yeah, and then I get out of the meeting. The meeting didn't last long. Like, I'm going home. I'm listening to good music. I'm just like, it's a whole vibe. I got a whole community surrounding me, helping me in different areas with my daughter. It's just like blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. You don't even understand. And it's all because my mind, my perception was all about positivity. I wasn't thinking about the things that I don't have in my life right now. I could have harped on not having this thing or that thing that I want. But what is that going to benefit me? I can't change anything but what I can do in my life. I can only focus on me being a better person. I can only focus on me trying to do better. I can only focus on me intentionally building my relationship with God and being thankful. And that's what I did in that moment. And I mean, I got on here. I'm feeling so good. Like, you don't even understand. I haven't felt this joy in like 2 weeks. And I don't know what's been going on, but thank God. I feel like joy again and contentment. I feel like no matter what happens in life, I'm going to be okay. And not everybody feels like that, but that's something that God gives you. He really gives you contentment in every situation. I can have hope, and I hope that things work out this way or that way, but I can only control myself. I can't control anybody else. And so knowing that gives me peace, and it allows me to have joy, and it allows me to just be hopeful, because if anything in my life doesn't work out the way that I want it to, I know it's because God has better for me. I know it's because God's strategically working in the background to make sure everything works out for my benefit. And it might not look the way that I want it to look, but it'll be exactly what I need. So I hope that you remember to always know that there's good people out there, and think of best case scenario and don't lose hope, because God has a plan for all of us, and we might not know the reason why, but it'll all be for our good. So thank you for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.